Okay, so the first drill we're going to look at is reaction time. So I'm going to react to a stimulus. Now, Mr. Birch is behind the camera, and he's going to shout "go" in a minute. And what I'm going to look at is down the track, and my point is to get my body up and going as quick as possible. I'm going to show you different starting points. If you've got a parent or a sibling, get them to shout "go" and take it in turns, or just internalize your head, just shout "go." So the first position I want us to get in is on one knee, and when Mr. Birch shouts "go," I'm going to get up and go as quickly as I can. Go! On to the second one, two knees, slightly harder because I've got to get my feet sorted out. Go! Third one, crossed legs, that means I've now got to get my body in position. Go! Last two, one on my chest and one on my back. Go! And finally on my back, go! So drill one was focusing on our reaction time and trying to get us to look at how we can react quicker into our stimulus and just keeping an ear out for that noise rather than looking and getting distracted. So what I want to look at now for drill two is how we start. So when we do those reaction drills, if you stand still and then I shall go, your first thing you're going to do, if I stand and shall go, is push your foot back and push off. So if you can imagine, I'm going to go, stand up, go. You see how my back foot goes backwards to push off. Well, in reality, we want to be going forward. So the way we need to do that on our starts is to be leaning forward. So if I start leaning forward now before we start the race, and I shout "go," my weight is already going forward, and I'm gaining a meter rather than going backwards. So when we start a race, if you are in a standing up position, you want your strongest foot behind. So I'm right-footed, so it's my right foot, because that's because I've got the most power to push off. So from here, my back foot's going to be backwards, it's going to drive up as hard as it can. So strong foot behind. I'm on the tiptoes of my feet, on the balls of my feet. Same with the left one. And then from here, I am going to lean as far forward as I can without falling over, because that's going to initiate me pushing off, okay? Make sure that you should have your same hand as your dominant foot forward, because when I go forward, I'm going to explode off and my opposite hand's going to come drive forward. So, from here, take your mark, leaning forward, set, push off and explode through. What I want you to do, have a go at experimenting, practicing this where we're in a low curled position, we're not stood upright, I'm not stood here relaxed, I'm literally curled tightly into a ball, all the power coming through here, I'm on my tiptoes, I'm leaning as far forward as I can. I want you to have a go, just experiment at different heights, different body positions, until you can get into nice and low, steady, ball tight, and push off and explode out. Drill one, try those different things. Okay, on to drill three. We're going to look at our block start. So how we do that is very simple. We are going to use your weaker foot to start with. We're going to point it down the track. We're then going to create an L with my back foot. I will then do the set, cross my foot over to another L, and then from here, all I'm going to do is drop down to one knee. So the line should be about here, so I've got that bit of a gap behind. I then put my fingers like this on the floor behind the line, and then my foot is planted. So as you can see, my foot and knee are parallel to each other in a nice line. My foot is on my tiptoes here, and I'm on my tiptoes here as well, on the balls of my feet. My hands are in a strong position. So this would be your take your mark position, and this is where you rest. When it gets to set, it's that same curled power. So we're still curled in. If you are here and you feel like you're back here, stop, reset, move your leg forward so you still feel like you're curled up. You then lean forward till you're almost falling to go forward. And then on the go, you just release. So, find your line, L's to get your body in the right distance from the line, foot next to the knee. This is our set position. Once we get to set, we're still curled, we're leaning really far forward and exploding out. That's your 3 drills for sprint starts. Have a go at the 2 different types of start and see which one works best for you. Okay, so moving on to shot put. Although you can't actually technically do this in your age group for a proper event, it's still a really good skill to learn. So it's a different type of throw. So javelins, we have a sort of slinging action. Shot put is a push. Javelin is a pull, sorry. And so we have different types of throws. So we're going to look at a push today. It's probably the easiest to do in a confined space. Now, if you don't have a shot put, which I would pretty much bank my money none of you do, a football or a netball or a basketball is the perfect alternative, because the bigger the ball, actually the easier it is to learn. So I'm going to use a football to start with, and I'm going to show you the action. So remember what I've said, it's a push. So we don't try and grip the ball in our hand, we are just trying to hold it in the tips of our fingers. And so you want it in the tips of your fingers, because if you hold it at the bottom, it's going to go less distance. So in the tips, we're going to put it under our chin, and then from here, we're only allowed to push forward. You cannot, from here, come back and throw. That is then a pull or a javelin throw and is a disqualification. So it can only be a push. So how do we generate power? So we stand sideways on and we twist our body and push through. So tucking in, sideways on, my feet are quite wide, solid base. From here, I'm going to come down from here, come up and push through. See how my hand did not come back and it went forward. So same principle. So this is what it would look like in real with a shot put. I'm going to damage the field and upset myself. So from here, sideways on, using that curled power like we did in the sprint, I'm going to twist and push our body through. Once I push my body through, I'm going to try and extend my body out in front of me. So from here, pushing through and trying to keep my body weight going through. Have a go at shot put, try a few different things, see if you like it. Once you've tried it, get a tape measure out, give yourself a measure and see how well you're doing. Long jump. Okay, so long jump is a combination of speed and explosive power. So a lot of long jumpers are actually really talented sprinters, and one of the best ever was a guy called Carl Lewis. Carl Lewis also happened to be an Olympic gold medalist at the 100 meters. And because the quicker you can build that pace up, the faster and further you're going to go. And then you have that explosive jump off of one foot. We're going to take it back to a basic level to start with. So you need to get a line on the ground, and then we're going to look at how we can explode from a standing broad jump position and how we want our body going forward. And then we're going to practice on one foot to see which one is our dominant foot to take off on. So, standing broad jump, you have your line, your feet are going to stay planted behind the line, shoulder width apart. From here, you're going to lean forward and explode and try and extend your feet out as far as possible. If you've got a tape measure, get it out and start measuring straight away. So from here, all I'm going to do is just go down and jump across, okay? So that is all I want us to do to practice. Once you've had a practice, come on to this second bit. So have a go at that and then listen to this. Coaching points. When we are doing this, we want to explode and come from low and attack up high. We don't want to go 90 degrees, which is vertical. We want to go about 45 degrees forward. Now, a lot of people will naturally pull their arms down and backwards, but what we want to try and do first is, as we come up, is pull our arms forward with the jump, and then when we're at the peak, that's when we pull our arms back to extend our feet forwards. So at the start, when we're down, we're going to jump forward and reach out with our hands, and then at the peak, we're going to put our hands backwards to try and extend our feet. So it should look a little something like this. Okay, and then that gives you that forward momentum at the start, and then pulling your arms through to pull your legs forward. Whew. That is a standing broad jump. So have another go at that and see how you get on. Moving on from the standing broad jump, we're going to look at 1 foot. Principle's exactly the same. We're still going to go low, throw our arms forward and back, and what I want you to do is work out, by using a tape measure, which one goes the furthest, because that's going to be the leg you're going to jump on. So try 2 or 3 on each foot, work out which one you get furthest on, and then that is going to be your jumping takeoff foot for the rest of your life. So from here, throwing forward and down, landing on 2 feet. Same on my left foot. Measure it, see which one's stronger. Whichever that is, remember that for the next couple of drills. Now for the long jump, we've worked out what our dominant foot is we're going to take off of. We're going to get that hurdle or little thing that I told you to get where we're going to jump over. So you could use two plant pots and put a bamboo cane over the top. Anything that just gives you something ahead of you to go up. A lot of you at your age struggle with the concept of going up to jump, and we just carry on running and do a little hop into the sand pit. So I want you to set up a hurdle or your thing in front of the line, and about 1 meter behind I want the takeoff point. So that means I'm going to be taking off from about here, which means I really have to lift my feet up to get over it. Whatever thing you pick, make sure that it moves, like my hurdle. Don't pick a big brick or something like that, because if you don't jump high enough, you're going to fall over. So, what I want you to practice, try different distances of running, and then I want you to practice taking off and trying to attack and get that feet up, looking to go forward at a 45-degree angle. As you can see, long jump's not my strength, I'm not a jumper, but you get the idea. I got up, I've extended my feet forward, going up at an angle. If you can, once you've done that, try and incorporate the arms as well. It's a lot to process, but to start with, let's practice on that, rising over that jump. On to the final section of the long jump, and I spoke about it earlier. I said it's one of the key components, and that is attacking the boards at full speed. A lot of us are still only kind of at half pace when we attack that board, and so can't jump as fast. So we want to be at full sprint once we get to that board. So I've set up my board, I've got my tape measures to keep track. What I want you to do now is to try walk back 5 paces, sprint and jump, walk back 10 paces, and see at what point, at how far back you go, that you are at full sprint when you hit the board. If you go too far, you're going to be exhausted by the time you get there. So you need to have a little bit of a play around and work out what the different speed distance is away from hitting the board at full speed. So if I go 5 paces, now I'm a bit like a boat. It takes me 10 minutes to get fast, and then once I'm there, I run out of steam. So this will probably be too short. So I can't get to full speed before I hit that board. So I need to go further back than 10 meters, 5 paces, sorry, to probably about 10 to 15. Once I've worked out how far back I need to go to get up full speed, I then need to play around so that my foot hits the board almost perfectly in line to take off from. Because some of us will run off and take off from back here and we lose 2 foot, or we go over the line and get disqualified. So 2 things to practice here. Work out how long a distance is you need for your jump, and then secondly, try and get as close to the board as possible. Following on, I'll give you a demo of hopefully what it should be.